Hey people, what's going on? Welcome to Real Tough Talk. Tough Talk.
How is that even possible?
Tough Talk.
Whoa!
Stephen J. partner goes,
Show some respect. You did not answer the question.
he's a bad man.
Bad man.
He's a bad. He finally said it.
The slipper's gone. The dress has holes in it. The cart turned to Tough Pumpkin again. So what else you gonna do?
I guess this team couldn't cover a twin mattress with a king size sheet.
Lights out season.
Lights out for you. Let's get as quick into the game as possible because I am not staying in this wig longer than I have to.
I want to part. Play it out, bro. While you talking this guy. Okay. All right, people. What is going on? I'm so grateful and humbled to have you here with us today. We want to thank y'all for joining us on another episode of Real Tough Talk. I'm here, Stephen J, where my partner goes, and we are back in the studio for this coming week. It's good to be home, back in the studio. You know, we're going to be switching it up periodically here and there because everything, you know, is going on and our schedules conflict a little bit, so Zoom's a little easier. But today, we're back in the studio, and it's great to be back.
I believe that we haven't done a studio show since probably last winter.
Right.
In our last season, so that's a long time coming. And then with the situation that's going on, and then your time and my time is always conflicting every now and then. So at the end of the day, it's so good to be back. With our set in our studio, doing our thing. It's pretty much like coming back home. That's exactly how it feels, and I'm glad to be back.
And first of all, I want to thank all the teams that worked with us this week. We had 2 different locations. We played at Harris Field, and we played at St. Mary's Park. Yeah. And the guys was willing to come. They was willing to play, and we just thank everybody, especially teams that came to St. Mary's when we went through a little issue with the field, a little miscommunication, but we worked it out, was able to get all the games in, and I'm really grateful to all the teams that just was willing to play. A little delay as we fixed the field up, but the guys was willing to ball out and follow the rules that we did. We had no kickoff, no punt, but they were willing to play, and we really appreciate y'all guys' cooperation.
And this is why we love the guys that join our league, because they are willing to work with us when we're having a lot of, any issues that are beyond our control. Even from last year, when we had the lights issue, whatever, the 2 championship teams wanted to play and ball out and just leave it on the field. And that's exactly what type of football we love to see. And it's humbling to know that so many of these guys are willing to work with us because they just want to play the game. That's love right there.
All right, we're going to jump into the first game. First game we want to talk about is the Raiders versus Braulio. Now, the Raiders are coming in off of a win. They beat 99 in a very close game in overtime, if I'm right. And you have Braulio coming in on a loss to Monarchs, but they were pretty much in the game with 7 guys. The question is right now, we're going to talk first about Braulio. Now, this team is definitely not playing on the level we expected them to play on. But at the end of the day, when you have Dave as your starting quarterback and this guy Honda, this team is definitely formidable. They just got to make sure they get other guys there to play.
Let's go! The Braulio has been one of the main teams that had this problem throughout the season. They have a lot of talented guys in this game, in this team. When they first came out their first game, they had VIP, they had Shuggy, they had Happy, they had Asa, they had Wakanda. They had all of these guys that are very talented and can play the game. They just haven't been able to show up consistently, and I think that has been their main problem with this Braulio team. Dave as well, has his own conflicting schedule. So when he's not there, it kind of throws their team off overall. So hopefully they get to cement their attendance and everybody gets to come, eventually get to play, but they have to play with who they have right now.
And then we talk about the Raiders. Yes, they have a very good team. Yes, they're a top team in that division. They got some good players offensively. But one thing I'm going to say about this Raiders is this defense has been carrying this team. This defense is number 1 in points given up. They give up an average of 11 points a game. Not only is this Raiders defense a top in points given up, only giving up 11, they only give up 18.7% per game. So your percentage of scoring is only 18% that they allow, and they lead the league in sacks. This team is very dangerous.
And they have a lot of speed. They have a lot of athletic guys. Led by, they have Santana, they have Ice, they have Will, they have Brian, they have Simon in the middle, who's a capable linebacker. They have
Joel, who puts it all together. Yep.
The blitz, putting the pressure on the quarterback. So they have all of these pieces that lead to big defensive plays. And that is why they're the best in the league right now in defense. That is the main reason why. They put all of that together and make it work to the point where all the offense has to do is take control of the time of the game, which is similar to how KC and the 99 team had, that dynamic. The Raiders have that times 11 specifically for their defense.
I think the defense is a little more explosive than that 99 team defense. All right, so we just gave you a familiarity with the teams. We're going to jump right into the game. Second down at the 47-yard line. Angel is blitzed by Dave. Runs on the sideline with blocker from Jihad. Runs it to the 20-yard line and the first down. Wakanda's flagged for cursing, and the Raiders get to the 5-yard line. That is a crucial thing because this team already, Braulio is short-handed already. And now you have a cursing penalty by one of your best players. We don't really hear Wakanda getting this, but you got to understand it. Got to be frustrating him to come here. The guys ain't here. Their draft pick isn't here. So this team is very much a frustrating team this season. So we understand the reason for the curse. First and goal, Angel throws the elbow in the front of the end zone for the touchdown. Dropped by elbow, but caught by Ice in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. Wakanda gets the extra point. Wakanda intercepts the extra point. I'm sorry. But Raiders are up 6-0.
And this, I believe this is the second time where they had a tip pass that ends up in the end zone. So these dudes, for some reason, they're finding ways to score. Now, it's not the cleanest touchdown, I would say, because Elvo was supposed to catch that touchdown pass. But no harm, no foul. I just stayed to clean up the mess, and they get the 6 points either way.
We're going to get to fourth down at the 48-yard line after 3 short plays. Dave throws deep to Wakanda in the gap. Wakanda can't get to it. Incomplete turnover on downs. This goes open short. Why would you take a shot when you need a first down? I don't understand that. Dave is too much of a veteran. I like to call Dave a Phillip Rivers because not only he's not a big runner, but his delivery, but he can be accurate. You know what I mean? And has a very strong arm. But the decision making is similar to Phillip Rivers. It's questionable. This made no sense. You needed a first down. You had to find somebody for the first down. And because I think he saw that the Raiders scored, he was trying to make a big play and unfortunately caused this team a turnover. First down, Angel on 4 rush. Throws deep to Spud in the gap. Picked off by Wakanda. Giving Braulio the ball back. If you look here, Spud was not open, but Jihad was open short. First of all, as always, as we've been doing every season, shout out to our man, Wakanda, baby, with the pick, his second of the day, one off an extra point. But this guy is Braulio's best player, and he's a top defender. The guy makes plays. Great play by him there. But my question is, why is Angel throwing deep? That's not his game. The key for this offense is to limit his turnovers, score every once in a while, and let the defense carry you. He makes a big mistake here and gives He makes a mistake here and gives Braulio the ball.
Just like I said in that last deep pass by Dave, if you're gonna make the throw, if you're gonna take this throw, you gotta make the throw. But right here, Spud is not open at all. Wakanda's there all the way, and he's able to make a play on it. And then, adding insult to injury, the pass was short. So because of that, it leads right into Wakanda's hands, giving the ball right back to Braulio.
On first down, Dave on 4 rush throws a disco on the sidelines, picked off by Ice. If you look here, the pass is thrown late, and this is a great pick by Ice. A lot of people know that Santana was a draft pick, but they don't realize that Santana brought Ice. Ice is a lockdown corner. Still trying to get back into the shape that he was in before as far as game shape. He's in really physical shape, but he got to get back in game shape. But this guy was a former UFL All-Star, a lockdown corner, and he makes a big play here, and that is definitely something that this Raiders team need. They have a great defense, and they show it again here. First and goal, Angel finds Brian in the corner of the end zone for the touchdown. 12-0, Raiders take a 2-score lead.
And the Raiders are keeping control of the momentum, but I believe it's the defense that's actually giving them this boost in play. Because they're getting big defensive plays, that one was right near the end zone. So the offense didn't have to work too much to get that score. That, I would say, you give that more towards the defense than the offense, but the offense still getting it done nonetheless.
Second down, David blocking from Watch Me, still sacked by Spud. This defense lead the league in sacks, and this is why. After getting a first down, Dave throws a disco in the gap. That's for a decent game. Third down, Dave scrambles with blocking from Watch Me, throws deep to Happy in the back of the end zone, tipped by Asa, incomplete. And I believe Asa is on the same team. This is the miscommunication. This is guys being in other guys' area. Fourth down, Dave on 4 rush. Those who watch me in the front of the end zone, just knocked away by JJ. Turnover on downs. Another big stop by this devastating Raiders defense.
They have their 8-player draft pick in Santana, but they also have everybody else stepping into that role, especially with the blitz and the pressure being put on the quarterback. I believe that is the main focus of their defense, and that's why they get big stops like this.
After getting the first down, Angel throws deep to Santana in the back of the end zone, tipped by Wakanda, but dropped by Santana, incomplete. Santana got to find a way to get that ball. He is a draft pick for a reason, and I understand a regular player not making this, but if you're a top player, you got to find a way to come down with this ball. Raiders can't score before half. That's going to take us into the half. 12-0 Raiders.
The Raiders showing again why their defense needs to be taken seriously. They are the best in the league right now for a reason. And it's not because of just 2 players doing everything or whatnot. Yes, Ice is contributing. Yes, Santana is contributing. But it's not just those 2 guys that's playing good defense. It's Joel with the blitz, putting pressure on the quarterback, Spud at the giver every now and then, switching back and forth, also putting pressure on the quarterback. The linebackers are filling the gaps, and everybody's playing their role, and they're making good decisions out there. That is what they're feeding on, and that is why their offense, not necessarily the best offense out there, but they're still able to get the job done because they're feeding off of the momentum of the defense, and that is why they have the lead right now.
This Braulio team frustrates me. You know, I'm not a man known for high blood pressure, thank God. Eat well, and you know, I take care of myself. I work out. But when I watch this Braulio team, they just get my blood pumping all the way up, all the time. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's too maybe it's like salt watching them, or maybe it's having too much soda or something. Something on this team makes my blood pressure go up crazy. Well, let me see what it is. Well, maybe it's because Dave throws a bomb on 4th down when they need a first, and they're at the 48-yard line. No, that can't be it. Maybe it's when Dave on 4 rush throws a disco and it gets picked off by Ice. He throws the interception on 1st down. Maybe it's when a guy like Wakanda, our top player, gets a 15-yard penalty for cursing. Let me see. Maybe it's when they throw deep and they throw in the front of the end zone and Elbow drops the ball, but Ice comes away with a catch for a touchdown. Maybe it's that type of stuff. This team frustrates me because they're too talented to play the way they play. I need to see something. They need to have respect for themselves. You're driving from Brooklyn. You're getting up in the morning to come from Brooklyn, and you're playing here like you're playing in your backyard. Let me explain something to you. These teams are not laughing with you. They're laughing at you because it's the same thing every week. Different guy decides when he wants to show up. They are disrespecting their name. They're better than this. Can they turn it around? Absolutely. This league, this season, everybody's all over the place. So I'm not worrying about the record. But if you're going to do it now, you're going to do it in the playoffs. This team had the ball 3 times and got stopped 3 times. Yeah. What's their average on points this season? You want to know since you asked me? Very last. Do you know what they're scoring a game? 3.5 points a game. They're scoring less than a touchdown. They're coming to the field owing money. Oh, their efficiency.
Yeah.
Their offensive efficiency, they score 10% of the time. That means they fail 90% of the time. I'll leave it there because the blood pressure thing. I wanted to go too high. We're going to jump into the second half. After getting the first down, Dave on 4 rush throws a pass in the gap. The pass is blocked by Joel, picked off by Spud, giving the ball right back to the Raiders. It's picked off by the ball giver because of the pressure. Unbelievable.
You're not being fair right now. I don't care about the whole blood pressure thing or whatever. You must be eating something bad because it has nothing to do with this situation right here. Yes, Braulio's not playing great, but that's because they're playing against the best defense in the league. One of the worst offenses in the league is playing the best defense in the league. What did you expect was going to happen? Look at this play right here as Joel comes in with the blitz. Right as Dave throws it, Joel is right up in his face, making a block, making a deflection that leads to Spud's interception. So that's just their defense pressuring the quarterback and making plays inside the field. That's exactly their job, and they're doing that. You can't blame Braulio for facing against the best defense, knowing that they can't beat them. We're seeing it unfold on the field right now.
Third down, Angels blitzed by Happy, who gets through Rob. If you look at Angel scrambles and pitches it to Rob, but it's incomplete, Angel looks very frustrated here. Fourth down, Angel on 4 rush, rolls right, throws it up, knocked away by Wakanda. Turnover on downs, Happy gets by Rob again. That's what Happy needs to do. The guy is a champion with Carver. The guy is one of the best all-time church players of all time. Guys don't know the guy was dominant in BFL. Now, he's not that Happy anymore, but the guy's still a playmaker, and his effort is shown on this play. That's all I want to see. Effort, great play by this defense, great way to get the stop. After 2 incomplete passes, Dave throws a disco on the sideline. That's going to be dropped. Fourth down, Braulio with short passes to pin the Raiders at the 15-yard line, turnover on downs. So, again, their defense makes a stop now, and they still can't capitalize. They get stopped again. Angel with 2 passes to Elvo on the sideline, getting him to the 45-yard line. Fourth down, Angel throws to Santana in the gap, knocked away by Lele, turnover on downs. That is a great stop again. And for the people that don't know and think that I just talk to talk, they frustrate me. Why? Braulio has a good defense. Their defense is 6 overall. There's 14 teams in the UFL. Their defense is 6. They give up 15 points, 15.5 points a game. And if they're 6, that's pretty dang good. Their efficiency is 8th with don't sleep, giving up 50% of the time they give up points. So they have pretty good defense. And if their offense can meet them halfway, they'll be a lot better. But their defense playing great, another stop by them. First down, Dave throws a tie in the gap. Who makes a catch, runs it all the way into the end zone for the touchdown. No communication here between Ice and Joel as he gets open. 12-6, they're able to score.
And if you look at this play right here, Ty runs right behind Joel, cutting right in front of Ice. All Ice has to do is communicate with Joel. You communicate with him, make him slide over, becomes a touchdown pass, run right into the middle, and then Ty runs all the way down to the end zone. He's fast enough to make a play like that.
Yep.
And because the defense wasn't able to read it, finally Braulio's on the scoreboard for a touchdown here.
After getting the first down, Angel on 3rd is sacked by Happy, and they're going to be forced to punt. That is a great defensive stand again by Braulio, forcing the Raiders to punt. This defense is something to talk about. Great pressure by Happy going into the time machine to make some big plays.
And that's unfortunate for them because their defense is playing their heart out to keep the game close. And their offense is not necessarily capitalizing. This has to be the drive if they have enough time to capitalize, because the time that they have is pretty minuscule at this point in the game.
After getting the first down, Davis forced to just try to throw the ball up on 4th down. It's going to be incomplete. Raiders come away with the win over Braulio, 12-6.
And this game right here with the Raiders, because I talked about them in the half, this game shouldn't have been as close as it was. Their defense was playing really good to the point where they only gave up 1 touchdown towards the end of the game. Their offense, though, struggled throughout. They barely got 6 points with a tip and a catch in the back of the end zone. That was luck. So at the end of the day, they only scored 1 legitimate touchdown, in my opinion. That's not enough. That's not enough. Again, you have the best defense in the league. The offense has to step up their side. The whole thing with Angel, this team has to talk about how they're going to move forward in the future, because this offense is not going to win games the way they're playing right now, especially when the playoffs where the competition revs up. I don't care how good your defense is. I don't see them going as far as they need to unless their offense starts making plays more consistently on the field. This game shouldn't have been this close.
Braulio got some problems offensively. This team was 1 for 7. Mm-hmm. They scored once on 7 possessions this game. That's definitely a disaster. This is why the team only averages 3.5 points a game. But this defense, they went 2 for 4 in the first half. Raiders scored 2 touchdowns. Raiders went 0 for 3 in the second half. Braulio stopped them 3 times. They stopped them in the second half. They actually stopped them right before the half, and then so they had them 0 for 4 on Raiders' last 4 possessions. Braulio has a really good defense. Their offense leaves a lot to be desired. Again, it frustrates me with this team because they have the talent. Ta, Watch Me, VIP, Shuggy. If you could get these guys to show up, Matrix, and Matrix has been there. We're not going to kill Matrix. He has been there. And Dave has been showing up. They have the quarterback to do it. Yeah. Another all-time UFL, not UFL, but BFL, the whole church regardless league type guy. This guy beat me in 2 championships. This guy won numerous awards. So the guy's a baller. Is he the Dave he was before? No, he's not. Father Time is undefeated, but the man still has talent, and this offense does not represent what Dave is, and it's a disrespect to him. It's a disrespect to their brand. They got to figure something out because they have a defense that can carry them to a championship, but their offense is lacking so much, and they're giving nothing. 1 for 7 is terrible,
and I believe it's because they never fully have their team here. On any specific occasion, they never have their full team in. And I think that hurts their morale overall. And this you got to put on yes, he hasn't been there, but you got to put it on Roy at the end of the day. He is this team's leader. He is their captain.
Roy's not a leader because if he was a leader, he'll find a way to be here. Yeah. If he's a leader, he'll find a way to fix these problems. If he's a leader, he'll know he has an opportunity to win the chip. This team has to remember why they're here. Mm-hmm. It's no reason for me to say it because they know. Yeah. They know why they're here. They know what they're trying to accomplish. And their guys that said that they were going to be here with them needs to stop being selfish and show up. And when you show up, show out. Because at the end of the day, you have a defense that can carry you all the way to a championship. You have a quarterback who's won championships in other leagues, a quarterback who's won it in a church atmosphere. This guy is a quarterback. And they have Matrix, the guy that they drafted, who's definitely a guy, the perfect cog for this team. They need to get it together and figure out what they're going to do. If Roy's going to be the leader, he has to lead. He has to get here and lead. Leading is not a phone call. Leading is coming to the field and being here with your guys. And if you can't make it, at least making sure everybody else to represent the brand.
And I believe that's exactly why they're struggling on the field right now. I believe it's because, they don't have guys here every week in particular all the time together. That's kind of why the morale is down. So they're not their usual fiery self if everybody's not here. They need VIP out there. They could use Sugar's presence there. They need everybody here at the same time on the field ready to play. Because if they need Matrix here. 3 big guys on their team that they didn't have this game. If they have everybody here, I believe that they have the team to compete and it'll all come together and get Dave more motivated to play better. When you don't have a team, it's hard to get a quarterback, I don't care who they are, motivated to play at your highest level. It's hard. So at the end of the day, they just got to come and they got to play. That's all it is to it.
And the last thing I'm going to say before we wrap it up, this Raiders defense is ridiculous. They came in having teams going 3 of 16. 16 possessions. Teams only scored 3 touchdowns. This game, the team went 1 for 7. They went from 18.7% of the time you scoring, and they dropped it down to 17.3%. They're getting better, better, and better. And they showed you today why they're dangerous.
And the big point of that was that they were able to pressure quarterback that much more. And I think that is the big difference, especially in a game like this. Pressuring the quarterback is what makes defenses in the league like this. So at the end of the day, they got it right, and that's why they lead the league in sacks, and that's why they have the best defense in the league.
They better figure out this offense, though.
Yes,
because there's going to come a time you play a team that's going to put up points, and if you can't fight with them scoring, which it doesn't look like they could do, especially when you're 11th in scoring, they're going to have problems. We're going to wrap this one up with the Raiders beating Braulio 12-6. We'll be right back.
Third down.
Hey! Lock up, baby! What? Go! Great! Get out!
That jam is different.
What you mean?
That jam.
Next game up, we're going to have Rep City versus the Gators. The Gators are coming off of a loss to UTF, and Rep City is coming off of a loss to Don't Sleep. Now, Rep City is the defending champs. They're a team that don't really worry about their regular season record. You know, that's what's thought of by the league. I think they do. I think they're dealing with injury with B-Dot being out. Meech still haven't been here. You know, they're going through some significant people out, which is causing them. But I got to give it to Hood. Hood is playing pretty decent.
Yeah.
You know, he's actually playing better than Akon played last year, numbers-wise. So you got to get a guy his love and definitely leading the team. But, and Gators has not looked the same since week 1. They have been inconsistent. They just look uninterested. Guys not showing up. And they got to get it together if they want teams to really take them serious.
I mean, fortunately for Rep City, B-Dot will be here in this game. So he will be here. He will be protecting Hood. The unfortunate thing is Rel is here, but he will not play. So Rel is not here. They don't have Wesley. So those are two of their main weapons out there that stretch the field. They don't have them in this game. So it's up to Hood to see who's going to step up and make things happen for their offense. And if you look on the other side with the Gators, they will have Rico in this game. Rico will be here and Rico will play. And they'll also have him as a leader presence on the field, and will also be here to help out with the team as well, and play as well. But Reggie is going to be late to the game, and Nelson, who was played as a receiver for their team, will start at quarterback in this game.
Nelson went to a UFL championship.
Yes.
So this guy is something to be known.
He was 7 points away.
Yeah. So we're not going to sit down and make it seem like this guy's chopped liver.
Yes.
Which I never understood that chopped liver. Like when they say that, they say it's like, what am I, chopped liver?
Well, I don't like liver, so I guess that's why
it's disgusting.
They say it. Yeah.
So when they say that, what am I, chopped liver? It's like, what am I, disgusting?
I guess because I think it's disgusting.
I think it's disgusting.
Yeah. So,
but why would you say, what am I, chopped liver?
Because it's something that nobody wants.
Okay.
I guess that's the only thing that makes sense to me.
I think that makes a little sense.
Yeah.
I still think it's gross. And they eat it with onions. I don't know. We're going to jump right into the game. Third down, Nelson throws a Rico on the sideline for a decent game, picking up the first down. Then Nelson throws a Flacco in the gap for a decent game. Second to go, Nelson finds Cecil cutting in the front of the end zone for the touchdown. If you look here, Rico blocks as Steve-O blitzes. Rico gets the extra point. 7-0 Gators.
And Nelson's showing a little bit of that old flair in his first drive of the game. Showing that he still got a little bit. He's filling it for Reggie. And the first drive of the game, he's able to get them into the end zone for the score.
First down, Hood with blocker from B-Dot. Throws an Uber in the gap. Short, picked off by Rico. Giving it back to the Gators. Rico's a former defensive player of the year. People don't think that he's the same defender that he was before. We seen a few years ago when he played against IOD. They went after him.
Yes.
And he gave up 2 big touchdowns. This is the kind of resemblance of the Rico of old, coming here and making a big play on defense after making a good play blocking on offense. The guy's showing he's still capable of playing both sides of the ball, and he comes away with a big interception here.
I mean, the thing about Rico is when he got Defensive Player of the Year, he did it at the linebacker.
Yep.
So that is to show that he was blitzing in, putting pressure on the quarterback. He's also protecting the middle, protecting the gaps, and he also, I believe, he had 3 pickoff, 3 interceptions that he ran back. This is just a semblance of them being able to play in that defensive area. Why they drafted him, because he's able to provide some play on both sides of the ball, and this is one of those plays as an example.
Nelson with blocking from low, throws to Chris in the gap, who runs for a nice gain in the first down. Second down, Nelson throws to Chris in the gap, getting him to the 15-yard line. Third down, Nelson is blitzed by Debo. Rolls right, throws to Rico in the end zone. That's going to be dropped. Fourth down, Nelson with a dump-off pass, getting him to the 10-yard line. Turnover on downs. Rep City stops the Gators, and it has to be focused on Nelson under pressure, makes a great throw to Rico in the end zone, and that's going to be dropped. And that's why I say a lot of people don't think that Rico's on the same level as he used to be. And like I said before, Rico makes this easily. Now, that is a huge drop, which could have put him up 2 touchdowns.
Rico drops a touchdown pass, which could have, put the game in their favor. Nelson put in that position, he makes a good play, and Rico's not able to hold on to it there.
After getting the first down, Hood throws to Oubre on the sideline for a decent game. Oubre's playing against his former team, leaving Rep City to go to the Gators. Hood with 2 passes to JJ in the gap, getting him to the 7-yard line. 3rd and goal. Hood finds A-Rod cutting in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. If you look here, Rico's left guarding 2, and he can't get to A-Rod. Debo gets the extra point, taking us at 7-7 going into the half.
And we got to talk more about this man, A-Rod. He has been the Rep City's most consistent receiver out there.
I agree.
Yes, they had Wesley. Yes, they have Rel. Yes, they have all of these other guys. But A-Rod has been the surefire target to keep the ball rolling, and that is exactly why Rep City is still actually competing and still in this game right now.
Yep.
So Hood has to find him. He got to be your main focus on this offense and get you down the field, because he's been consistent almost every time you threw him the ball. He has to get the ball a little bit more, but so far they're able to get into the end zone to tie the game here.
Gators are playing well, but Rico got to make that play.
Mm-hmm.
They drafted you for this. You got an extra point after blocking Steve-O on the blitz.
Yes.
So let me give you the rundown. He came away with a big block that got them their first touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Then he gets the extra point. Then he gets an interception. Then he drops a touchdown. You got to understand, you're possibly the best player on the field right now. But people think you were a few years ago. They don't think that you're that same player anymore. Rico went 14th in the draft. He was the last draft pick. 13 other teams overlooked him as even this team he's playing against. And that's the type of swagger he's supposed to have. And he has to make these plays. And he doesn't. That is a big mistake. But I know what he has. I give the man his respect because he's been here. It's not like he hasn't showed up just to chill. He hasn't showed up because he worked. But when he's not working on Saturdays, he's here with this team.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, they not only need him on the field, they need him as a leader. He has to come away with something. Nelson has played great. He showed he still have a lot in the tank, and I'm very impressed the way this kid's still able to throw the football. We're going to have to jump right into the second half to see what happened. Hood gets the ball. He's blitzed and sacked by Rico. If you look here, Rico gets through B-Dot. Now, some of it, B-Dot is not 100%. I don't care what nobody says.
Yeah.
The guy is still hurt. And if you do that against Rico, he will beat you. The guy has muscle. You see him working out in the gym, flexing a little bit, trying to make plays, and he's making plays, especially defensively. B-Dot is not 100%. And if you're not 100%, you should not be on the field. Causes his quarterback to get sacked. Second down, Hood throws deep to Matt in the gap for a big game, picking up the first down. That's big. We haven't really talked about Matt all season. This is why they drafted him. The ability to not only play defense and not only to quarterback, but to stretch the field. Great play by Hood. Finding Matt. Matt comes away with a great play. Second and goal, Hood finds Oubre in the front of the end zone for the touchdown. Debo gets the extra point. 14-7, Rep City. Tell me what you think Oubre's feeling being able to score a touchdown against his former team in the Gators.
This is working for him. Regardless of what the record is or whatever, they have been feeding him the ball. They have been giving him the ball. He has been one of the main focuses on this offensive team. I guess he didn't feel like that was the case when he was on the Gators.
Right.
And then with their whole problems with attendance and the way that the direction of the team, who knows what the real reason is, but Oubre went with what's familiar to him. He ended up going with guys that he played with, like Rel, Nietzsche, whatever, that play with Bama. So he is pretty much going to what's familiar, and Hood is using him. So that's a plus right there, and it's why he's able to be on this in this game, and that's why he's able to get in the end zone here.
Third down, Nelson scrambles a blocker from Los and then throws to Rico, cutting in the gap, overthrown, incomplete. Fourth down, Nelson on 4 rush, throws a Flacco on the sideline, tipped by Matt, incomplete, turnover. That's a big play by Matt. That's why he's here. We seen him make a big play offensively that led to a touchdown. We seen him making a big tip here, which stops him to getting moving the ball. That is a great play. Very impressed by Matt's play.
But then I'm looking at the play, and you have Ant yelling, being furious about this play. Nelson had an opportunity to at least run on the sideline. I don't know if he would have made it, but the sideline was open, so he should at least take the attempt rather than take a risk and throw it past the defense. So this was a miscommunication between Nelson and the offense here, but Ant screaming, I don't think it's going to help. I'm going to talk more about that towards the end of the game, but right now they are not in a good place. They were looking okay in the first half, but now they're starting to fall apart.
Hood with 2 passes in the gap for a decent game. Fourth down, Hood on 4 rush. Throws, but the pass is blocked by Lowe's. Incomplete, turnover on downs. Gators come away with a big stop. Got to give them their props.
And this is much needed because, like I said, they were starting to fall apart, and at least the defense is keeping their hopes alive in this game, giving the offense another opportunity to make something happen. It's up to them because the defense has done their job. It's up to the offense to
remember, it is 14-7 Rep City. Reggie's going to come in the game, but he can't move the ball. They're going to end up punting. Rather than pin him at the 1-yard line, Reggie throws the ball up. The ball lands on Rep City's 40-yard line, and some people would think that's bad. I like the idea. I think they're trying to force them to drive the field rather than give them a 4 and out, giving them half the field.
But I'm going to tell you, that's still a dumb decision in my opinion because, okay, I get that you're trying to make them drive down the field, but why put the ball right in front of their own first down? So now they have their own first down that they could get, and it's still running the clock. Time is not on your side right now. So the best thing you could do is at least put them at the 1 and force them to drive down. At least you could probably get a stop, make them punt the ball. But because you did this, you almost sealed the game away from yourself, taking away any opportunity you have to come back in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why they did it. That don't mean I agree with it. I'll go for the 4 and out. Because then you have your timeout.
But this wasn't even a 4 and out.
You give them a chance to not only get a first down.
Yes.
So yeah, I agree. I understand what you're saying. I understand what they did, but it didn't make sense. So I understand it, but it don't make sense. So
that's contradict. Just go to the next play.
Hood is blitzed and sacked by Prodigy. After getting the first down, Hood on 3rd down, throws a Matt on the sideline. It's going to be dropped. Rep City has to punt. That's a great stop by the Gators defense, holding them there.
But that's the thing about this Rep City team. Right here, they're pretty much giving you the game on a silver platter. You score, game is over. But they don't take that opportunity and score. And this is the thing with Rep City's offense. They are very spotty at best, especially not only because they don't have their stars here or whatnot, but they don't make the best decisions in the game. First of all, they're not driving. They're letting the Gators defense stop them at the most crucial point of the game. All you're doing is you're giving them another opportunity at the end.
Reggie's going to throw the Matt in the gap, getting him to the 40-yard line, but the time runs out. Rep City comes away with the win, getting their first win of the season, 14-7.
But they didn't make it easy on themselves. So the thing about it is, it's almost like they were trying to snatch defeat out of the jaws of victory. They had this game, but they were giving Raiders too many opportunities to come back. Put the game away. But it seems like, understand this, and this is a fun fact for us right here. This team, Rep City, this is their first win in 2 seasons.
Since 2019.
Yes. So it seemed like they started to forget how to win. And that's why they were making mistakes towards the end of the game. Now, great that they did win, but they got to play better. They first of all, they need some of the guys that weren't in this game. You could see that they missed Rel in this game. You started to see that they missed Wesley in this game, and they've been missing Meach all season, especially on defense. So this team is still not the full team that we're used to seeing, that championship team that they needed to be. They're still not that yet. They added Hood, but they still not at the point where I'm confident that they can compete with other teams yet. Good win here, but I'm still worried about them moving towards the end of the season because I'm not seeing much that's impressing me right now.
If I'm Rep City, Hood's been playing decent, but if I want to, win a chip, I'm pulling the trade. Only if the guy's playing. Mm-hmm. I'm trading Matt for Corey if I'm Rep City. And I trade Matt.
Interesting.
That's what I would do. I'm going to trade Matt and go get Corey.
But there's
because
a risk
Corey's
involved,
not, if he comes, you're bringing them into an uncomfortable situation because Jeremy's lighting it up.
Yeah.
So if Corey comes, I'm trading him.
Yeah.
And you put Corey to Rep City. Mm-hmm. Now, that's going to piss off Hood.
Yeah.
But I'm trading Hood too. I'm doing a 4-player deal.
Whoa.
I'm going to UTF, and I'm saying, give me Big Speedy, former UFL block of the year, because they got too many blockers.
Yeah.
And Corey, and I'm trading you Hood and Matt. And I'm trading Hood because Hood left UTF unhappy because he wanted to throw for Team X a few years ago. Yeah. And that's how he left UTF after he played wide receiver.
Yeah.
Send him back to UTF because if you bring in Corey, Hood is not going to throw anymore. So he might as well go back to UTF where he played receiver. That's what I would do. I'm trading Matt and Corey for Speedy, another blocker, because B-Dot is clearly still hurt. And Corey.
Okay. First of all,
and
all
Hood.
Of that,
so,
listen.
like I said, one more time. Hood and Matt, their 9th pick for Speedy, and UTF's 3rd pick, Corey.
I would say that's a spicy dish right there. I would say that's interesting in my opinion. But I completely disagree with this. And I'm going to tell you why. With the whole situation with Corey right now, at best, is questionable.
Right.
We don't know if he's going to make it back this season. We don't know.
I said only if you can make sure he's going to play. But that's the thing. But
we don't know. And you got to go with what you know. We don't know if Corey's going to play. So at the end of the day, that's a huge risk that UTF took by drafting him. So to take that risk away from them, it's only going to hurt you in the end. That's one. 2, trading away Hood is a waste because, 1, you're trading for Speedy, which I'm not sure if they're going to be willing to give him that anyway. I'm just saying, looking at UTF and looking at Mike Santos, I doubt he's going to make that trade for one reason. Hood doesn't help them. Jeremy's not giving Hood the ball. That's my opinion. He's not entering that defense and getting the ball. So
you mean the offense?
I mean, he's not getting into the offense and getting the ball. He's not getting the ball from Jeremy. So that is a waste of a player right there. So at the end of the day, this trade does not help either team. So again,
it does help either team because it gives them a solidified quarterback.
Yeah.
Who's similar to when they got Akon and they went on a run. Now you get Corey, who's better than Akon, a former MVP. That's going to turn this team around because with Hood, it's just not working. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't blame Hood for it, but Corey could carry a team a lot more than Hood can.
But this is a hypothetical we're talking about. I don't want to be too far because, again, if we knew that Corey was coming back, that'll change the decision. Right. And then I'll be like, you know what? That makes sense. But we don't know. So at the end of the day, you can't afford to make a trade based on a don't know. That's why I said I don't agree with it. And then at the end of the day, UTF is not benefiting as much as Rep City would. So why would they even need to?
Getting Matt.
Listen.
Getting Matt. And before we got to go, because we got to talk about Gators.
But
them getting UTF getting Matt, you saying that they won't benefit?
No, I didn't say, listen, again, but I'm talking about everything else that they're getting with the Hood and all of that. I don't think all of that is a completely good package for UTF, especially knowing that they are the best team in the league right now, record-wise.
I don't know.
So at the end of the day, do they really need it right now?
Now on the other side, the Gators was 1-for-5 at the ball. 5 times they scored once. They scored the ball. They scored a touchdown in their first drive and got stopped the next 4 times. That is not a good look. This Gators team is definitely not what we saw in the beginning of the season. And they keep dropping.
The field was short.
And
The field was short.
That's
the
what
field was
saying.
short. That's exactly what it was. Because Reggie didn't look the same at all since they stretched the field out. So is it because Reggie can't reach down the field no more?
I don't think that's what it is.
No, I'm not saying. Listen. The way it looks like on paper, if you look at the statistics, Reggie has the arm, but he hasn't been as efficient when they stretch the field out.
Their efficiency, they're 10th in efficiency. They score 41% of the time, which is only 4 teams, which is Raiders, Don't Sleep, Rep City, and Braulio have a worse percentage than that.
And he's one of the highest scoring quarterbacks of all time, and you're struggling this way.
But it's not their offense. Because their offense, even though they've been dropping, they're 9th and they're tied for 9th with Grindtime in scoring. Their defense is giving up 23.3 points a game, and their efficiency is 55%. So it's not really their efficiency, because they're in 10th in efficiency. That's bad, but it's really they've given up a lot of points.
And
it's not consistent, but they're giving up a lot of points. Here, they only gave up 14.
Yeah.
So they don't give up a lot of points often, but when they do, they give them up.
But I'm going to tell you this. At the end of the day, what I wanted to bring up earlier is I believe that the problem with this Gators team is they have no direction. They have an issue with leadership. And the thing about it is neither Rico or Ant have been here regularly. And these are guys that have their own sight of the game. Like, they have their own, way of looking at things. What
Ant
they
wants
got
to be the leader, and Rico's used to being the leader. They got to figure out who's going to be the leader.
And
Ant got to be the coach,
Yes.
and let Rico lead. Listen, I understand this is Ant's team.
Yes.
I respect that it's Ant's team, but Rico has chips on his belt. He's won numerous chips in EHS. The guy has been to 2 UFL chips. So the guy has a little more experience than you. The guy won Captain of the Year, which means he knows how to put a team together.
Yeah.
And he won Defensive Player of the Year. He won MVP, but he didn't have a number when we first started, so we couldn't keep his stats. The guy is already shown.
And that's
Ant got to learn to give some of the power to Rico, which he doesn't.
And that is why I say it's not that you have to just give away some of your leadership or whatever to Rico, whatever. You just split the responsibility. How about one focuses on one side and the other focuses on the other? Let Rico handle the defense. Let Rico do the defensive strategy, talk about what they're doing and whatnot, and let Ant focus on the offense. Strategize with Reggie, figure out their game plan on offense, and that way they can have equal possession of each part of the team. And that way, each person has their own direction on each side. That, I believe, would work better because they don't have to clash with what each side is doing. One handles one, and the other handles the other.
They need to figure a way to pressure the quarterback. They're in last in sacks. So you have the second worst defense in the league, and the worst defense as far as pressuring the quarterback.
But at the
what do
end
you
of
think is going to happen?
They're going to struggle throughout if they don't find a way to pressure the quarterback. But the thing about it is, I still feel like this team has some light at the end of the tunnel. I'm not going to say that it's over for them completely.
I think they can win a playoff game.
Yes. And my thing is, should they be satisfied with someone saying, hey, I think they can win a playoff game?
I think you're dreaming too much if you think they're going to do more than that.
Listen,
I just fell in a good mood, which is why I gave him one playoff win. No, don't go that far. Let's slow down. The team is, I believe, 1-3 right now.
Listen, the league is all over the place right now. There's teams that we would thought was going to dominate, and they're struggling. We have teams that I said was shaky foundation wise that are one of the best teams in the league. So
we'll see what happens.
Yes.
You're giving them too much credit. We're gonna wrap this up. Rep City with the win, 14-7 over the Gators. We'll be right back.
Stay small.
Got him.
Yo, it should be easy, man. It should be easy.
I think you guys have got it.
The next game up is something that we all wanted to see. Dem Gettas versus Grindtime. Dem Gettas are coming off of a loss to the Sharks, and Grindtime is coming off of a loss at PME. The reason people wanted to see this because we never got to see the matchup in the playoffs a few years ago with Grindtime versus Carver, because Chuck went away. Lou was able to put up 3 touchdowns on Carver's defense. At that time, Carver had the best defense in the league. Lou was able to shut them out and win that game to get him to the championship. Everybody was like, oh, if Chuck was here, it'd been different. Even though I don't remember Chuck playing linebacker. I don't remember Chuck playing free safety. But that's what was said. Now we see another rematch. Now, of course, this is not Carver, but it's Dem Gettas. Another team that's formidable, a team that was expected to win the championship this year. And I guess we're going to get to see what we wanted to see a few years ago.
And the funny thing about this, especially with Chuck, helming the Dem Gettas team as quarterback, I believe if you could look at it relatively like it's the same. It's similar to how Tom Brady is on Tampa Bay right now, trying to prove that he can still do it on a new team. That's exactly the position that Chuck is in right now, trying to lead this Dem Gettas team to the promised land. So he's facing Grindtime, who was just there last year. And they're facing off each other finally, one quarterback against another, and we get to see the outcome of that. The thing about it is, will Chuck be able to play at the level that he needs to with a different team like Dem Gettas, with a different receiver core? He has some of the same guys, but I would say that it hasn't been as efficient as he usually would be on Carver Mound.
And the thing about Grindtime, they're not going to have Bo or their number 1 draft pick, Prince Mo, which is practically their 1 and 2 top guys of this team. So we're going to have to see how impactful that's going to be. We're going to start off with Grindtime getting the ball. Lou with 3 passes in the gap for a decent game, picking up the first down. Then Lou throws a Ruben in the middle for a decent game, getting him to the 7-yard line. 4th down, Lou on 4 rush, finds Rob in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. Ruben gets the extra point, 7-0. Grindtime scores on their first drive.
Right out the bat, Lou was able to drive down the field. The gaps are a little bit open on this first drive. The defense didn't pick up on it, and Lou was able to take advantage, getting them their first score here.
2nd down, Chuck throws a Michael in the gap for a nice game, picking up the first down. Michael is Wes's son, and they're trying to develop this kid. And the best way you develop somebody like this is you throw him into the fire. We've seen Ant do it, Sticky's son.
Yes.
We've seen Tito do it, Casey's son.
Yeah.
So they throw their guys into the fire and get them to learn, and he's making some capable plays here. Good play by him there. 3rd down, Chuck throws a cable guy on the sideline. That's going to be dropped. 4th down at the 15-yard line. Chuck throws to Josh in the front of the end zone, off target, incomplete. Grindtime comes away with the big stop.
And the thing about it is this pressure on this drive right here on defense is what threw Chuck off. And the thing about it is Chuck is known to get through this type of pressure. He knows exactly what receiver to throw to when they send an extra guy. And sometimes normally he will always have someone protecting him if he is blitzed or anything like that. Right now, it's not looking the same. Chuck is under pressure. He's not able to make some accurate throws. You saw that in that last throw right there. The different team, different dynamic, and Grindtime's able to make a defensive stop there.
Lou with blocking from Mike throws a Ruben in the middle for a decent game, picking up the first down. Lou then with blocking from Mike throws to Anthony in the gap, picked off by, I believe that's Kaz, giving it back to Dem Gettas. Great play. Another new guy here making a good play on this for this Dem Gettas team. Great turnover there.
And much needed. Every person that's on this Dem Gettas team that steps into the game has to step up and make plays. And that's exactly what Kaz does. Steps up into this defense. Luke makes a throw. It stays there. It stays in the air too long. Kaz is able to get there and make an interception, putting his offense back on the field.
Chuck throws a West in the gap for a nice gain. Then Chuck throws a Josh in the gap for a decent gain. 4th and goal, Chuck on 4 rush, rolls right, throws a Cavs in the front of the end zone. That's going to be dropped. Turnover on downs. Dem Gettas is stopped again.
And this is when Dem Gettas get physical. Yes, they be already putting pressure on the quarterback here. I believe Kaz, as he was catch, had some contact from the defense, so he wasn't able to hold on to the ball. That's good defense, knowing that you put pressure and you make contact on these catches. Otherwise, that should have been a touchdown. So that's a good way for the defense to make a play and get another stop here.
Grindtime can't score before half, and we're going to go into the half 7-0 Grindtime.
And Grindtime right now, yes, they only scored 7 points, but their defense is playing really well. And the key to that is them pressuring Chuck in the pocket. Chuck is not a runner, so he's not going to take off and get 15, 20 yards. So they have nothing to worry about in that end. And plus, the way that they're scheming the blitz and they're sending two, they are boxing them in, and they're closing the lanes where they can make plays even though they're sending two. So it's hard for Chuck to get these passes off. You see him struggling here in this first half. Because they're boxing him in, they're keeping him from finding his receivers, and they're making good stops. That's why they're in the lead right now.
Nobody's scared of Dem Gettas. That's all I see. They don't have any playmakers. They have some veteran guys in Western Cable, but they don't got no real playmakers. Chuck has to find a way to turn it around, and his defense has to support him. They have to have his back. This has not been a great defense this season. They have to show that they're willing to help out as much as they can. I think they're capable of doing it in the second half, but there's no Pams here, so there's no big-time motivator for this team. Yeah. So they got to figure out how the way to do it on their own. Hollywood has to step up as leader. We're going to jump into the second half. Second down, Chuck throws a cable in the gap. That's going to be dropped. Third down, Chuck gets blitzed by Prince. With blocking from Hollywood and Dev, Chuck is still sacked by Prince. Dem Gettas is going to have to punt.
And one thing that I didn't mention in the first half that they're still doing in the second half here is they're leaving two blockers to protect Chuck. And because of that, that's one less receiver out there to get the ball. Normally, Chuck has one blocker and the other person is out in the gaps as a safety valve. He don't have that now. So because of that, that's two receivers wasted. That's one less target to throw the ball to. And that's why Chuck is not getting sacked.
And he got sacked. Prince is a strong tackle guy.
Yes.
They kept two to block him, and he still got a sack.
Yes.
That's a problem.
That just shows that there's nobody open.
Lou gets two passes in the gap for a decent game, picking up the first down. If you look here, the gaps are left wide open. Lou finds Anthony wide open in front of the end zone for the touchdown. If you look here, DG's playing man in the goal line as they rush to 13-0 grind time.
And listen to that whole scenario. You were playing man at goal line. That's already a mistake. But then you're rushing two. So now you have one less defender out there.
So
that leaves one receiver roaming free, and that receiver happens to be the guy who catches the touchdown. So this whole play was ridiculous, and I don't know who's thinking about these defenses, who's thinking that this is a good idea, who approved of this, I don't know, because all it's doing is making Lou's job that much easier on offense.
Second down, Chuck throws deep to Josh, who has a step on Anthony in the middle. That's going to be dropped. Third down, Chuck is blitzed by Prince, throws a Michael in the gap, high, but it's going to still be dropped. Fourth down, Chuck on four rush, rolls right, throws the Cavs on the sideline. That's going to be dropped. Turnover on downs. They dropped 3 straight passes, and they turn the ball over.
And the thing about it is, throughout this game, they was dropping passes. We didn't highlight a lot of them because it didn't really affect the game as much, but these drops right here affected the game. First, that touchdown pass that was dropped, and now these 2-3 straight drops here. That kills your momentum, especially the one that kills your drive, because that one ended the drive. That would have been a first down. So not only are they not sending receivers out there that they're keeping too many in the block, but now you have guys dropping passes. And if all of this is coming to a head, that is why Dem Gettas is losing right now.
Grindtime gets a flag, I believe, for cursing on second down, 15 yards back. Lou on four rush, throws deep to Ruben on the sideline, caught in the end zone for the touchdown. End of the game, grind time, 19-0, shutting out DG.
Now, I'm going to say this. I know that you're going to have your analysis on both teams or whatever, but I got to say this about Dem Gettas. With Chuck, with Pams, with Wes, with Cable, and anybody in between, this is the worst Dem Gettas outing I have ever seen. With all of these things included, this is the worst iteration of Dem Gettas I have seen in a long time. Because not only are you said that they lack talent and all of that, that's true, but they're not making good decisions. The thought processes of Hollywood is not there the way it used to be. He's making decisions that baffles the mind in terms of why they're doing certain things, keeping 2 blockers in, sending 2 on a goal line man defense. I don't know what's going on, but they never made bad decisions like this. Chuck, I've never seen struggle to score like this and get shut out in a game.
This is his first shutout of his
I've
career.
never seen this
This is
before.
his first shutout in his UFL career.
Like I said, but it just baffles the mind to see such an outing by a team that a few years ago was in the UFL championship without a quarterback, former 3-time champion, former championship MVP, and get shut out. I've never seen this before. They really got to have some soul searching to do because this is unacceptable in the end of the day.
I'll give you both scenes real quick. Grindtime, this is a great win. They needed this win. Because I was a little concerned about Lou. Still a little concerned. He kind of showed what he's capable of doing. This team is 2-1. But in 3 games, Lou has thrown more interceptions than he threw all last year. He threw 3 last year. Today he threw his 4th interception. That's a lot. So I was a little concerned. But, they're down in scoring. They're 9th in scoring this year. 41.6%. They're 9th in efficiency. They got to get that better. Defensively, they're giving up 22 points a game. That's they're 22 points a game. They're 11th in defense. So they don't have a great defense this year. They got to get that better. But at the end of the day, this can turn them around. This is a great win without 2 of their best players. Lou showed that Chuck does not play defense. He can score on any defense you put out here, and that is a great play by him. I think the big key to this game, Prince. Yeah. Prince brings the muscle. He brings the pressure. They need to thank this man because the stuff he does at that position is great.
Yeah.
Shout to them on that win. Now for Dem Gettas. Or we used to call them Dub Getters.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Far removed from that.
This team is 1-3. The so-called favorites are 1-3. Chuck was shut out, and Pam's, who wasn't here, but it's still his team, was shut out the first time, I believe, in their career in the UFL. Ever. This team is not very good. And I'm going to tell you why. 1, they picked up Timmy.
Yeah.
Not in shape yet. Out of his prime. He got hurt this game.
Yeah.
They picked up Lou, former league MVP. Out of shape. Not the same player anymore. Mm-hmm. They picked up Megatron, former UFL All-Star. Not in the same shade as were. Not the player he was before. Those are several players that you picked up, pieces you picked up that's not very good, like they used to be. Then the 2 guys you did pick up, Bones and Trev, both leave. Yeah. Bones going to UTF, Trev going to 99. Now the question is, and Randy leaves, goes to UTF.
Yeah.
The guys that were supposed to take them to the next level left.
Yeah.
Why don't these guys want to stay? Well, I'm being told that, I'm thinking they guys don't really want to play with Hollywood style. And it's not Pam's. It is either Pam's or Hollywood. Yeah. One of those 2. Or it could be both. It's a little strong. You're not getting the full Pam's because Hollywood is there. And Hollywood ain't getting the way he want because Pam's is there. I said in the beginning of the season, it will not work. And you looked at me like I was crazy. Like I was talking from Mars. This team is 1-3 and they just got shut out without the other team's 2 best players. Well, let me tell you something. The greatest quarterback in UFL history did not throw a touchdown pass. They dropped the pass on every drive they got the ball. They dropped 6 passes that we saw, that we showed. They dropped a pass on every drive. Let me tell you something. It's not about being a fan. It's not about saying what you was. This team is not very good. That's the problem. That's why when they went up against the Sharks and the Sharks locked them up and man, they couldn't get open. West and Cable are capable players, but they're not speedsters. Yeah. They're not going to stretch the field. You have nobody that the defense is worrying about, so they're boxing you up. That's why Grindtime left Prince with Mijo, because they wanted to send the pressure in, because they was not worrying about anybody beating them downfield. Mm-hmm. Hollywood was so worried about going and getting Chuck, he didn't go get talent.
Yeah.
That's why I would have kept Reggie, and I would have drafted Prince Mo.
And understand, when he was on this Carver team that won 3 championships in a row, the key thing that they had in the last 2 that they had was Ricky. Ricky protected Chuck. Nobody was getting through Chuck on one of their last seasons. Chuck won quarterback. I believe he won offensive player of the year. Quarterback of the year, and Ricky
won
also
block
won
of the
block
year.
of the year. So my thing is, those 2 together is why they won so many championships together. You don't have that now. You have Hollywood and you have Deb protecting you. And Prince was still able to get through, and that's because they didn't have a receiver to throw over the top.
And Hollywood is a receiver that you need, but you got to keep him the block.
Yeah.
This team is not very good. And you saw it today.
Yeah.
You saw it. They're not good. They're not good. And for all the people that said, oh, in the beginning, oh, they got this person, they got that person, they're 1-3 right
And
now.
I'm going to tell you this, and I didn't want to emphasize it during the game, but I'm going to emphasize it here. Because there's going to be a difference. It's going to be noticeable regardless. They were playing, we were in St. Mary's in this game and whatnot. Smaller field, first down, they still couldn't
not
score.
score.
So that is a problem. If you have a shorter field with a first down and you still can't score, like you said, there's problems, and I'm going to join into that and feeling like this team, like you said, they're not playing very good. I'm not going to go.
Not that they're not playing.
I'm not gonna
You
say
can't
it.
play very good if you're not very good.
Listen, at the end of the day, I'm a hopeful guy. I'm a person that feels like there's some hope for everybody. And I feel like if they get it together, and if Pam's and Hollywood get their strategy together and get it right, I think that they have an opportunity.
It's not going to work.
You already said the shit done
Because
stale
there
for
are
you.
2 alpha males, and Hollywood would have to give up his power 100%. He's not willing to do that. He's not. You can see by the players who's on the field that are out of position or that shouldn't be there, that those are because Hollywood got, and I said this was going to happen.
Listen,
I said it was going to happen. Everybody looked at me like I was crazy. They called me bonkers. This team has 1 win, and they beat a don't sleep team that was coming off of a championship high. That was the best they looked all season. I don't put it on Chuck. I don't. But Chuck cannot carry a team anymore.
I mean, the game against the Monarchs, they looked pretty good too.
Their
They just lost by 1.
offense looked good.
Well, yeah, true.
Their defense looked bad. And if you remember, they had Bones.
Yeah.
They don't have Bones no more.
But
they had somebody that could. Who scored the touchdown that Moses threw up? Bones.
Yeah.
Off of a jump ball. They didn't look great then. They looked decent, like they were going to get better. This team is not good.
And I think
Just
that
say it.
and
I know you're a Chuck fan and you're a Pam's fan. I'm with you. They did a lot of great things in UFL. They're not going to do it for this team because Hollywood is not giving up the power. And when they lose, and if they don't get to at least a championship, it was a bust.
All right.
And Hollywood sold his soul by cutting his quarterback to go get Chuck, and it didn't work.
Well, right now, I don't think that is a terrible decision because neither Reggie or Chuck is looking good right now.
Does Reggie have talent?
No.
Okay, so you can't get mad at Reggie.
But neither of them have talent if you think about it.
Hollywood lost Juice. He lost Ralph. He lost Bones. Those are guys who left, right? He lost. Then you lost Trev.
You lost
Randy. These are all guys that you lost. Yeah. These are all guys, and aside from Ralph, that can make plays offensively. You got back a Moses that's not the same Moses as before. This team, you lost Dre.
Yeah.
This is not the same Dem Gettas team. They're not very good.
It seems like you enjoy saying that.
I said it in the beginning of the season. It's not going to work. I thought they should keep Reggie and draft Prince Mo. Thought it would be perfect because Prince Mo's going to bring Prince with them, which they need defensively. But hey, Chuck is there. We won a championship. Let's cut the guy who went to 3 championships. Yeah, he didn't win one, but he went to 3. Now, Hollywood don't got to worry about going to a championship and losing because they're not getting out the first round.
Wow.
We're going to wrap this one up. Grindtime being Don't call them dub. We just gonna call them Getters.
No.
Okay,
So
they got.
they lost to them.
They no dubs. They're
Yeah.
1-3. You can't
they
say
just-
dubs when you're 1-3. Grindtime and Lou and them. Shout to them. Beat this team.
You don't even wanna name
19-0.
them
We're gonna
anymore.
wrap this one up. We'll be right back.